YouTube. It's Leah Lauder, your favorite megachurch cult survivor. I'm live on Instagram as well. I know it's been a while, guys. Forgive me. It's been my health. But just make sure that you're following my main account, Leah Lauder, so that you can follow me and make sure that you can see where I'm live. Guys, if you're on the live on TikTok, you're going to have to like it up because tonight I'm going to be a target. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I threaten their PR stunts and their damage control that they're doing up. Hey, Sana. Babe, I'll keep it real with you. I live with a chronic illness because the church cult made me disabled under Daguerre Mills. So I currently live with the chronic kidney diseases, you know, the adrenalism, my mental health that I've got to try and keep myself so I don't go into, you know, just wanted to top myself. So I've got to keep it real, babe. You know, like it's not the cults. I can't be like, oh, all is well. It is well. The Lord is gracious. Oh, yes. The Lord is good. You know, it's not that type of platform. So I'm going to tell you straight, you know, Christmas, been struggling financially, chair. And then obviously, as you know, they financially exploited me. I gave well over 6 figures because I'm not like these BROKE gal them like Jemima and co. Jemima, or if anyone's listening, Jemima, I want to let you know that I've got that little YouTube video of you, babe. You know, the guy that you lost your V to in college when you were about, I think you were about 18 and you're winding up on him twerking. It's, you know, that cheap, low budget video. I'm going to be showing that chair. So I'm just going to be showing basically that allegedly, you know, as the survivor has come forward, basically saying allegedly that Jemima is quite the opportunist, because in the videos I've been kind of painting her as a vulnerable young woman that SPAC Nation have taken advantage of. But now it's come to my attention that she is actually a pred. She got a termination by a younger guy whilst being a leader in SPAC like 3 years ago. All right, can someone pin that? Have I got mods on? God is so good, eh? God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Is Sister Yandy here tonight? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the convention. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, somebody has poor hair. I rightly saw. Hello. Such as who rightly saw that Jemima apparently got rid of. But it was about 3 years ago. Let's get into it. So come in. Oh, I thought I had my door. So this is the tea, guys. Allegedly, a survivor has come forward, but not a survivor of SPAC Nation, a survivor of Jemima Jail. It might turn into surviving Jemima. So basically, a survivor's come forward and said that her and Jemima were like BFFs in college, yeah? Now, this girl actually got pregnant young, like 16. And so what happened was they were in the same college together. So the girl was off sick. But long story short, Jemima basically faked a pregnancy. This is all alleged. She faked a pregnancy and was like with this girl while she was going through her situation where she couldn't have. And then after that happened, basically she told the whole college when she was off sick that she had got rid of. Can you imagine, guys? She told the whole college chair, gave this gal a whole trauma. So, and that's not just it, but what I'm seeing with this is it looks like she's using like this girl's story and other people's story and other people's trauma as promo. And guys, I'm not going to go too much into it because I'm going to do a whole live on it, breaking down the psychology. I'm going to do content first, but I feel like I need to just talk about it to bring this victim some justice, because she's not even a survivor. She's a victim because she's using pictures. You know, when she's trying to do her testimony thing, she's not blurring out people's faces properly. So she's involving people. Anyway, the alleged victim that's come forward said that Jemima said she was addicted to leaf. She said that's a lie. She said Jemima's never been addicted to leaf. She said that if you look at the picture, and I wish I'd had it here, there's a picture of Jemima with a little something in her mouth, yeah. But how she's doing it, and I know these things because I used to bun it down back at the chair. Oh my God, that's how I was around all the man them. Do you know what I mean? Because I weren't getting my back blown out. I could outbun anyone. Are you all right? All of the man them, they're like this little skinny. You get me, like from West. You know what I'm saying? Like your girl was respected. But anyway, let's get to the point. So she tried to act like she was addicted to it, yeah. But this gal is the one who's the chimney. This is the girl who's had determination. This is the girl. Do you see it? So she's using her trauma, and this girl's really from the streets. She's not streets, but she's from ends. She grew up in the hood. But apparently, Jemima grew up in not Finsbury Park? Sorry, North Finchley. Finchley. All I'm gonna say, girl, because you know me, I'm almost 40. Because we're basically in 2026, so I'm gonna be 40 next year, and that's my biggest flex of 2026, saying that I'm gonna be turning 40 next year. But the point here is, and the point here being, is that if she comes from Finchley, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm from Grove, innit? W10. Hey, Pally, I'm from Grove, innit? W10. So Finchley's not that far. Now, my sister went to secondary school in Finchley, and my mum worked really hard so that my sister wouldn't turn out like me. It was a very good school. I mean, the only thing I can think of that's near Finchley is Camden, and then when I think of that, I think of what's the guys? Remember them, the trio? Na 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 na. What were they called again? Come on, someone put it in the chat, man. What's her name? Talisa and all that. What was their name? Yeah, that's all I think about when I think about them ends. Do you understand what I'm saying? N-dubs. Oh, look. Mrs. Lutz tried to put it in quick. Big you lot up, man. N-dubs chair. So when I think about Finchley and like them ends going into Camden, I think of N-dubs. But guys, I'm not gonna lie. There are some unalivers in Camden, and I'll tell you why. When I was working in the prisons in ISIS, yeah, there were them from Camden, and they were serious guys. Woo! You lot, I'm not even gonna lie. Guys, there was one in particular, yeah. I was married at the time. I was in the call. I was working in the estate, yeah. And there was one tooting from Camden. Oh my God. And I was severely indoctrinated. And I was thinking at the back of my mind, oh my God. And guys, I was probably about, 31 at the time. This was some young brother. I was thinking I would have got a cracking with him. He was a real temptation. I'm not gonna lie, tall, big. And the thing that I like is, you know me, historically, I've always like a bad man. And I could tell, you know, when they got that G thing, oh my God. He was just exceeding it, chair. And he was from Camden. So some of the Camden man them are, do you know what, guys? It's just gonna get real ghetto today. That's what a survivor gave me. So it's like a big 1 liter bottle chair. Yeah, Camden's got some real ones. Yeah, Paris. I can't even lie, chair. Camden's got some real hitters. So I'm not trying to I'm just saying that's what my knowledge is of Finchley. So if Jemima is from Finchley, if she could tell me the set, because I was to the girl, nah, there has to be like I was trying to understand where she's from. I was like, what ends is she from? Apparently the history is that she was living with her sister. I forget the ends. Apparently Jemima was living with her sister, and allegedly she never really got on with her mum because I don't think she liked the discipline, and she just wanted to be free running around in these streets like a 304 allegedly. She's a typical pick-me, so really needing that validation from men. And that's why the significance of the video I'm going to be sharing, even though it's a low budget embarrassment, the point is that she was with that guy because he was doing his music thing. She thought he was going to bust. She could get to be in the video. She was trying to go down that route. And that's why I was saying, phone on the spotty. Sorry. So what we need to really focus on here with someone like Jemima is there's low self-esteem. There's a lack of LOVE. And I'm not talking about when she's done, sat there and finished doing all that glamour magic and putting on all of them clothes. I'm talking about when you wake up in the morning, you've got nothing on, you're just at your basic. And these are the type of gal them. Are there mods on? Are there mods on? And the issue with this is, and this is what I'm going to say again, I've got to be really careful how I word and frame this. Jemima's basic. All right. I know some girls are going to be hurt by this because you might feel like, she's a representation of a pretty DARK skin woman. Listen to me and listen to me well, bitch. I've got 2 different color kids, and those people who are privy to see me on my WhatsApp and whatever. I've got a dark-skinned child that I absolutely adore. I see myself as a Black African woman. I'm not into the colorist thing. I just believe in dismantling all of that. So I know it's a touchy subject, but ladies, I've just got to keep it real. She thinks she's absolutely something that she's definitely not. All right. And when all of that makeup's off and it's just at the bare minimum, and you're going to be seeing it in this video, it's just giving basic. And I want you to know that beauty is not only just skin deep. Beauty is something that shines from within. You can have a woman that's not as beautiful as a next gal, but her aura, her confidence, the way she lights up a room, the way she elevates and empowers other women. What's the point in having a pretty gal there, but her face is fixed? She ain't getting into the vibe of things. She's hating on every gal in there, acting like her ish don't stick, putting her nose up like something stinks. And nobody wants that. And that's why sometimes that, you know, like you look at the man and you look at the gal and you think, oh, why is he with her? And that's a very, very like shallow way to think, firstly. But secondly, it's beauty is, as I said, beauty is not skin deep. It's something that shines from within. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was psychoanalyzing Jemima's videos, I was thinking to myself, the way like she's risen up the ranks so quickly, and she's walking, it's like it's giving that wolf. Do you know what I mean? Like she gives the vibe like she'll do anything to get to the top. She'll step on anyone's neck. And that's what I was thinking. She must be like them for them to promote her. Because I always compare her and Winifred, because Winifred's a Joke. Everyone laughs at her. She hasn't got, she's like MESSY, so she's a liability. She could slip up, say something like, Jemima's so on it because she's so hungry for the clout. That's been allegedly the victim that's come forward said she did, like she believes that she joined SPAC for the clout because nothing else was working. And you've got to understand that is true, because if a girl goes in there and she thinks she's that or whatever, they're actually, this is what makes it a danger to people, and then safeguarding this, that, and the third, because it's such a toxic environment that now you've got preds like young women with this type of mindset coming into these spaces, and their whole mindset is, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get up the ranks. And the thing is, guys, I'm not going to lie, usually with these pick-me's, it's like they'll SLEEP and like to get, you know, with whoever to get to the top. A part of me, because it is, most of these church cults are just schmeg cults. So obviously I don't know this. I'm not saying that she's in there getting her back blown out, this, that, and the third. I haven't been told that. But I wouldn't be surprised, because I'm seeing a pattern here, especially the women that they promote and they bring close, and then I'm also seeing the patterns that of the women that they elevate and bring close. They're either sleeping with the pastor. I can't believe I'm drinking my big bottle, but it is what it is, guys. Because I'm disabled. This is how much water I have to be drinking. And I know I could just put it in. I've got loads of these different bottles downstairs, but I'm not here. I'm in a block like here. I could barely move from my bed. Are you all right? Because of the cold. That's why I said to myself today, who said that you can't hoe? And he gonna eat me like a mango. Lord, it be tickling my ass crack. Wonder what I do tomorrow that these hoes will be mad at. And I always get my lick, boo. And I'm fighting over dick too. That's only that. Do you know why I say that lyric? Because you know I'm celibate for the rest of my life. But that's for my homeboys, and that's for my blood brothers, isn't it? So let's get into it. This is an open live on TikTok. Hey, Christine. This is an open live. People can come up. They can talk. I really want to encourage SPAC survivors to come up, but it's not a anyone can come up type of vibe. And I got mods on deck, so you just gotta get lack off. This is for survivors of SPAC or people who agree. Why mince my words? Why mince my words? The religious folk don't. You know, it's like you either believe what they believe, or you're going to hell. So here we just enforce the same black and white thinking and the same laws, unfortunately. So for those that are still trapped inside robots and really vulnerable, unfortunately, it's just for our mental health and well-being, we just cannot have you on the live. This is a safe space. And I've got to ensure, according to TikTok community guidelines, that we keep it as such. Okay. And also, you're just low vibrational, just really low vibrational. You know, the residue of a foul predunk like Toby, the stench, spiritually, I cannot bear. So unfortunately, I just can't have that energetic happenings in the live. Oh, you'd like to speak? Oh, okay. Can you please say what you are are you a survivor? Are you Oh, you black them. They might have been a survivor, girl. Oh my God, the whole face just fell off on my phone that I paid for the other day. Wow, I've got to go back. Guys, can you imagine? I never thought that would happen because of where I'm from. Anyway, they all had SPAC. They all had their phones out. It was crazy to me. It looked mad. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to get into it. Yeah, but don't just go blocking people really fast because we've got a lot of survivors on here, yeah? So just be careful. No, but your mother has. You know your mother, that's been treated like a doormat. That's why your dad went with your mum. A lot of the aunties like your mother, they're mentally unwell, especially the ones that we see outside that look like they need to be sectioned, and they're outside Asda and in East London. I saw your mother out there outside Stratford the other day, actually. These cult people, them boy, they're like the mental health. Like I'm gonna get into a series where I just talk about the epidemic of like the mental health epidemic, and also the men are so feminine that they bring out this reaction. Like it's not like the reaction that I get like when a woman disrespects me or angers me, because she's a female just like me. But when men come in and they're commenting and they're doing the most on post, it makes me want to grab them from inside the screen or just give them a, like the female, like the Pomeranian that they are, because it angers me. And that's why like my mistake has always been my hands. I'm so swift to, do you know what I mean? But luckily for me, all the unalivers and the OGs thought it was cute. When I was getting angry, they just picked me up. They thought I was cute. You know, the real unalivers. That's why I like, do you know what? The truth is, that's why I like my real bad man, like my real hood ninjas. And everyone acts like they've had that experience, but they're lies and the truth ain't in them, because hood ninjas don't bring everyone close. You can be exploited and used and abused, but being a wife, like a mobster's wife, and being brought close and introduced to the family and becoming like them, not many people. That's why I said I'm the last of unaliving breed. Gal, them ain't built like me anymore. I was born in 1987. Do you get it? It's just too much. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get into what was happening in this live. Guys, I just want to make sure that I've got the right bit. All right. Do you know what? I'm gonna talk about the biggest part of this that stuck out to me the most, because I'm not gonna lie, guys. When I was watching the live with Toby, it was so triggering. He just speaks absolute human fecal matter. I can't understand a word that man says, and not because of anything like that, because you don't know I love my uncles, not him though. And like I love the accent, that really arouses me. I like the fact that Nigerian men are bilingual. That's how I see them. Bilingual chair. Even when things got cracking, I used to get them to wear traditional wear and everything. I love it, Chow. You're all right. But my point is, it's just because it's just the MESS. So there was one part that stuck out to me. Yeah, let me start here. Do you know what? Let me just start from the top, chair. Love him, but I really love it. Niggas think I love them, but I really love the D. Do that. Do that. Do that. Do that shit. Do that. Bitch, do it. Do that shit. Do that. Do that. Do that. Do that. You know, and this is why I'm like, all of these Jemimas and co that grew up in Finchley, you know, had the 2.0 family, mummy and daddy married, and then you want to be riding off the back, acting like you're from the streets. This girl was on a live saying that she used to shop dark and what was it? I think she said dark and brown. Guys, I'm not even gonna lie, I was so triggered yesterday. I was just on the thing punch. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I said to myself, I can't even take this. As you know, my boyfriend was unalived by the police, like really outside in these streets, doing what he had to do. And this little girl from Finchley is in a little cult. And this is what I was saying. This is the danger. Like I've got a video of Toby that this woman's just put out. It's so funny. He's in the studio trying to sound like a Peckham GM. It's so funny. I'm gonna have a field day with it. And it's like, that's why there's so many fake wannabe GMs in there, including Jemima. Anyway, Jemima, I hope you're ready for me, girl, because I just think that she's a girl that's done a lot of people dirty. And to be honest, I feel like a lot of people are gonna come forward. I feel like a lot of people are gonna come forward once I start putting this content out. These young gal them have got no respect because they come from, you know, it's like the same repeated cycle. They come from these toxic households. Do you know what I mean? Mum's probably like, you know, like hyper religious. Do you get what I'm saying? Probably had the older mum. Do you know what I'm saying? Hey, my love. Probably had the older mum. Do you know what I mean? Never really felt connected to her, felt isolated. Like, that's a lot of the time where they act up. Do you get what I'm saying? It's gal like this that act up like that and get a bit rebellious. But there was, from what I'm hearing in these streets, she weren't no gal on the roads. She didn't shot nothing. She went. There's a picture of her holding money. And the thing is, when I saw the pictures, I thought to myself, it looks like staged. That's the first thing I thought when I looked. If you not go and search her up afterwards, Jemima SPAC Nation, she's got this one where she's preaching, I never knew I was North London until I got out of North London. And I'm like, even when she said that, like, I remember watching her, because I'm not gonna lie, North London man, them, they get it in. I've got cousins in North that, like, I just don't even associate with people from North, but not the survivors, all right. But guys, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to North, I just quickly, if you understand how I'm coding this, then you'll get it. I was 15 years old, went on a link to go meet some guy in Angel. When I got to Angel, this guy was supposed to be 17. I was about 15 at the time, and he was fine as hell. And guys, you know, back in the day in the 2000s, it was about tall guys. The more American they looked, the more, like, do you know what I mean? Because that was the vibe. So anyway, he came looking like some American rapper chair. So anyway, I'm linking him now. At one point, he's put my hand, like, I can't even say where on TikTok. And I'm thinking that he's trying, guys, he's got a piece of steel in there. So that was like the first time that I'd seen that in my life. Like, that was the first time I touched something like that and seen it. And I was just like, no, it scared me because I was 15 years old. And it was like, he had a very like stoic kind of presence about him. And I'd been around, like, you know, like road band them, like at that point, but it was enough. That encounter with that ninja, I don't think he was okay. That encounter with that ninja was enough to put me off, like, North London mandem for the rest of my life. And I've never dated a North London mandem. Like, I don't go to them ends. Like, I don't. And not because I'm shooketh, like, oh, they're so bad. I just think that a lot of the mandem, like, are just mentally just not. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's something about that North London water. But guys, I still love you, please. But I've just got to keep it real. That's my experience. I'm not saying that's facts. So I don't know much about North London galdem. But what I was seeing when I saw Jemima on there, I know the guys are serious guys. So when I was seeing her doing her preaching and stuff, I was thinking, I just can't see. I'm not getting the tug. Like, because the thing is, real recognize real, innit? And anyone can be in cosplay, try to act like they're from the hood, like this, that, and the third. But there's a vibration. Like, it's about the struggle. That's why I said the hood it's not just about Peckham, South London. Like, there's hoods everywhere, all over the world. There's hoods in Brighton. I live in Kent. There's hoods in Kent. Yeah, it's about impoverished areas. It's about poverty. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're growing up in the bricks. Like, you're in the system. Do you know what I'm saying? You're in social housing. your mum's on benefit, your mum couldn't afford to, do you know what I mean? Or your mum had mental health, or that's what makes you like, that's the hood mindset. Because as I said, you can have people in the hood. Okay, you can have someone who lives on Kenneton Park Estate, yeah, but their mum's a single mum, but she's young, she works in the local authority, she's got a boyfriend that maybe shots, like, so the whole house is kitted out, they get everything, mum's got a nice car, this, that. Then you've got someone who lives in West London. It's like they've got 6 siblings, they live in a 2-bedroom house. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, mum can't put on electricity in. So what do we define as the hood and not the hood? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's deep, guys. It's deep, because I've worked with young people. I've worked with young people in different hoods all over the UK. Do you understand what I'm saying? And some of the worst hoods. And again, this is because of the propaganda, the disenfranchisement, and the over sensationalism of the pathologization of the BLK male, that although we're a minority, every time they're talking about GANGSs or they talk about this or that, it's always the BLK man is there's a strong representation of that. But when you go to Liverpool and you go to Yorkshire and you go to Scotland, them hoods, you feel like you're in a third world country, baby. There's somewhere in East London, I forget what it's called. It's like, guys, I can't even get into it. And that's why I don't want the church cult narrative to be, it's a BLK church cult problem, because it is indefinitely not. We just got idiots, do you understand, like what we're talking about currently, that exasperate it and do it so loudly. That's the hood I know. Okay. And Bex, and that's the thing, it's like you can have someone from, as I said, from Kenneton, you can have someone from Kenneton Park Estate, their mum's a single mum, but it's just one of them. So they're I know brothers like that, kitted out. The only kind of trauma they're going to get is secondhand trauma, which I do acknowledge. Maybe someone unalives in the block, somewhere they might see like something happening on the block where they, okay, yeah, I get that. But arguably that person who's in a hood that's not maybe seen as South London, they can still see that, man. That's still guanin. Yeah. So if you've been through the system, I don't care where you're from. You could be from Yorkshire, you could be from Buckinghamshire, you could be from Oxford, you could be from Bath. If you're a care experienced child, that you're automatically in the hood system. You're in the system. You're in the struggle, B. When you've been through that care, you've been through you've been through the system of care. And then on top of that, if you've been through the hostel system as well, because it doesn't matter, you've got, and that's what I'm saying, like when it comes to the hoods and it comes to people, it's a phenomenon. The study of people is a phenomenon, but it's a mindset. It's a hood mentality. It's a mindset. It's survival. It's survival. That's what it's about. Because there's some people who haven't been, do you know what I mean? They haven't been in survival. And it's not a comparing thing, but you can never compare to you being in a council flat. You've got your own bedroom. There's one of you, your mum's kitted out. Your dad still comes to get you on weekends and buys things. And your mum's got a man who kits out the house and does everything. Yeah, you're still going to have trauma from being in the hood, all of the other stuff that you might, maybe your mum's a young mum, this, that, and third. But when we look at it intersectionally, someone who's growing up in a 2-bedroom house with 6 siblings, there's going to be a lot more layers of trauma, because when we look at adverse childhood experiences, the ACEs, people can have higher level exposure to those adverse experiences, which can create different typologies of ABUSE and violence. So for example, if someone's dad was putting hands on their mum, they might grow up to be a GM and be ROBing people, yeah? When they go and ROB that house, the 3 brothers that he went with just takes his stuff and leaves. But that brother is aggressive and put hands on the mum and puts hands on the family, almost unaliving them. Do you see what I mean? So when he gets sentenced, he's now doing like 20 years. And these are the kind of individuals that I was working with in the secure estates. And if you're interested, part of my research, if anybody wants it, just message me, I can email it to you. I can't even remember what it was called, but basically it was looking at how adverse childhood experiences propel young people into a life of crime. And because I was working in the prisons as well, I did some interesting research. So for those that are interested, all right, I've just been chatting. Let's get into the topic. So today, SPAC Nation held a live, and Pastor Toby was on a live doing the most. At this point, I'm not sure that they're as smart as what we think they are. Hey, Queen Nance, I don't think they're as smart as we think they are. Because I find them very kind of like SLOPPY and clumsy and just not and inexperienced as well. I come from a mega church cult where we've got thousands of church cults worldwide, and it's very regimented and disciplined, and we just wouldn't make sloppy mistakes like that, innit? Mrs. Lux, you're from my cult, innit? You're from First Love. And I just think that's because he's inexperienced, because SPAC is a new cult, it's a baby. SPAC, mustard seed, yeah. That's why you said it quick time. SPAC's only been around has it been 13 years? How long SPAC's been around? SPAC's just small. It's not it. Yeah, so like compared to my cult that's been around, has it been 40 years now? 34 years since the 80s. So my cult leader's a lot more experienced in manipulation. Do you understand what I'm saying? And just being a thief. Just being a thief and covering your cracks. How's Mustard Seed a cult? Mustard Seed is a cult because Dagwood Mills is the cult leader. Because of loyalty and disloyalty. Loyalty is to the highest authority. Do you know what I mean? They all follow him. It's an echo chamber. That's how it's a cult. It's a big time cult. Do you know what? That Lola Brooke, I just don't know what it is about her. Like, even when the tunes used to come on when I was out in the club. And again, I'm not saying that these gals don't come from the hood and stuff, but it's like when I don't resonate with them, when I don't feel, yeah, girl bear, when I don't feel that, like that realness, it's like, I just can't listen to the music. All right, so he did a live and he was doing the most. So we're going to look at the psychology, sociology, and behavioral theory behind why Pastor Toby and high control leaders respond the way they do, especially in moments like that. So this is like a press conference that they were doing up with their own members. I've never seen anything like it. It's only back home that we do press conferences with our own members. Propaganda. So let's look at the defensive framing. They called Jesus a cult leader. They'll call me the same. That's exactly what he said. I'm quoting him verbatim. Mrs. Lux, can you give that person a warm welcome, please, who's asking for recommendations? Your mother. I recommend your mother's house. Your mother's house. That's what I recommend. But you know what? I'm going to be nice. I recommend UCKG because they like to eat out of the Great Bowl Young Boys. There's a guy, if you Google Luca Terra, Terra afterwards, and UCKG, you'll see it all come up on Wiki, what was done to him by the bishops in UCKG. So it was given that emasculated, enmeshment, feminine vibe from the church cult. So that's why I suggested UCKG, because you'll fit in really nicely. So Toby said they called Jesus a cult leader. They'll call me the same, because he was asked basically the whole of the UK, the whole of the community. The community is saying that he's a cult leader and SPAC is a cult. And he was like, what's his response? And my cult leader's response to him is, we are not a cult, we are a family. And Toby's response was, they called Jesus a cult leader. And we're going to go into it. We're going to break it all down. Psychological mechanism, victim identity framing. So when someone under scrutiny responds with, they called Jesus a cult leader, they are using victim identity as defense. This does several things. Number one, reframes criticism as persecution. You know, they love to say, the world hate Jesus, they'll hate me. And the reason they were hate in Jesus Christ was because he was advocating for women. He was telling that, like, going against the Pharisees, like what I'm doing, basically. This is like a real life example. And if they could do what they did to me, what they did to Jesus Christ back then, all of these religious leaders, they would, because they have an M charge in them. And that's what Jesus Christ said. That's why when they were persecuting him and accusing him, he remained silent, because he knew it didn't matter what he said. Like, they were going to demonize him and they were going to twist his words and whatever. So he remained silent. But because they don't have the gnosis knowledge, they just don't go, they don't understand. They don't go within. Everything's external. And, you know, I was on a brilliant live today and a guy said, okay, let me ask you actually, what's the biggest religion in the world? Put it on the chat. What do you think the biggest religion is in the world? I'm going to look back on this at YouTube and be like, Leah, this was so ghetto. All right. So everyone was like naming all the different religions on the live. And the guy goes, money. Money is the biggest religion. Money is the biggest faith. And I said, Ross Clark, that's it. Because that health, wealth, prosperity teaching that was brought from the YT televangelist from the United States into the rest of the world. Hey, Ella. You know, it's about money being the religion. And that's like, you know, the initiation when we see all of the most wealthiest pastors. It's like, that's what I was talking about, that initiation process. So it's actually money. And at the core of it, all of these religions historically and to this day, they've always been fighting over like money, land, like possession, territory, whose God is the, you know, it's just patriarchy at its finest. And then what they do is they use us as the slaves and the puppets to like argue amongst ourselves at a low level. Do you know what I mean? So that there'll be dissension, separation, division, triangulation, HATE. It's the lowest vibration in the universe. And that's how they keep us controlled. And DUMB. All right. So when they reframe criticism as persecution, criticism becomes attack. And that will mean that they need to do up spiritual warfare. So this shifts the conversation away from accountability and onto being misunderstood or spiritually opposed. So they can drive more of those elitist rhetorics, we're the chosen ones, and in, you know, behind closed doors. And guys, I'm concerned because SPAC is giving Jim Jones, and a member told me, an ex-member told me that Toby said he was going to buy land in Nigeria and take them all there. And I do believe that there's a lot of them in there that would go as it stands already, because there's just nothing care for them. Their whole life is just in this cult. Cardi B's new album, it shields error with sanctity. Christ is invoked to protect himself from scrutiny. This is a tactic seen in high control groups. So he's using the cloak of Christ, Christ likeness, or whatever you want to call it, just trying to be Christ. And if it's spiritual, it's above critique. And to be honest, that's how they kind of frame themselves, especially in the rhetoric and the ideologies that they perpetuate. This makes followers defensive and loyal, because to challenge the leader becomes unchristian, or you're disloyal, or you're a heathen, you're a Philistine, you're of the DEVIL. This makes followers defensive and loyal, because to challenge the leader becomes unchristian. If I weren't so dehydrated and tired, I would have taken you through all the stages of loyalty and disloyalty, but like that my cult leader does. But I'm just so tired, guys. Do you know what? I'm just going to drink this so that I can put the water in it, because you know what? It is a bit ghetto. YouTube, are you around? Are you here? Are you spies? Because you're all on here. No one is commenting at all. This is Yandy. This is Sister Yandy live. So I need to know, are people around? Or are you just here being spies? What are you doing around? I need to know. You think I don't know, but I have eyes at the back of my head and I can see before you can see. I am connected to the connector. And I am with the plug of the source. So I know. All right, let's get into it, y'all. Because them gal them like anyway, I'm not a little clock here. And that's why in SPAC, yeah, any type of pick me 304 can be in there, because no one can defeat a Yoruba man apart from a Leah Lauder. No, I mean, there's a Yoruba man somewhere in these streets totally still in love with me. Like Schmegs is never going to be the same for him again in his life. Do you know what I mean? Like he's done out. When he was with me, he felt like he was on top of the world. He thought he was a celeb. He thought he was a king having me on his arm. Never gonna get over it. Not in a million years. Anyway, I digress. You know, it's complicated, but I will reveal all in my book. So yeah, book's coming out in February. You can pre-order in February, but it's coming out in March. All right. So so theory, this is tied to external attribution bias, attributing criticism not to one's own behavior, but to external hostile forces. Let's look at the sociology of cultic leadership in SPAC Nation. Authority and charismatic dominance. So Max Weber's model of charismatic authority explains how certain leaders hold influence not because of rules, but because followers perceive them as uniquely gifted or chosen. We saw oh God, I've got to be so good on this live. We saw Nikki. She's quite the character, that Nikki. I can't wait to do the piece on Nikki. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be so fun. And that's why I think that the gal them, when they get up there, they just become like, you know, mini Mariams and Nikkis and that. And it's a shame. But they've all they have that EVIL in their heart from before. Because as you know, the girls come forward and basically expose Jemima for being from Finchley, never being from the hood. Oh yeah, and she also told me that her dad unalived last year while she was in SPAC. So she said it's got nothing to do with her being vulnerable because of grief. Because I put in my video that was something that may have been something that, you know, made her a risk factor to join in. So she's just been EVIL from the jump. Yeah. So that unalivement would it would shift her into becoming more cold, more dark, more cutthroat, because now she doesn't have her dad anymore. And then also that will give up more room for enmeshment with Toby. And I've been seeing a lot more posts with her, with Toby and this and that. So she's probably internalized in her psyche that Toby is her spiritual dad, like her real dad. And that's when it just gets an MESSS. And if there were to be, and I'm not saying that there is, and I'm not saying this is allegedly, I'm just saying hypothetically speaking, in this scenario, if there were schmegschal favors or that involved with it or feelings, she's done up. All right. So Toby's response fits this pattern. He positions himself as spiritually special, chosen. Criticism is a test of faith, not a legitimate challenge. And that's why they've all got the SPAC profile in their picture. You know what? And you know when that one he sings, is he called Sterling? That guy, he's gone dark now. I've seen him the other day. I seen him. He had a dinner or something. Because you got to change in there. You got to be cutthroat, and it's not just SPAC. In all the cults, you got to be cutthroat. You got to be like willing to do anything, like step on anyone's neck. That's why they didn't promote me to a certain level. Like I always had that talent to sing, to build, to get people in. You can see the kind of person I am. But you've got to be EVI out. As much as I was indoctrinated and took in the doctrine, I wasn't EVI out enough for them. But Jemima, don't worry. Now I can match that energy. Now I can match that energy 304. And I don't care how old these gal are. I don't care. I'm not a registered social worker anymore. So I'm just going to deal with them like I deal with any other individual. That she's a big blood clot woman. I'm just Leah. She's just Jemima. That's on God. So I hope you're really from the hood, babe. I really, really do hope that you've had some road training. And let me tell you something. Them ninjas ain't got nothing to teach you, chair. They ain't got a damn thing to teach you. So I really really, really hope that you've had some hood training, because to deal with me, you got to be ready for it, chair. I'm really not happy with what I've been hearing. I'm really gonna go in on this girl like never before. Just because I don't like the fact that she faked the termination allegedly. I don't like the fact that she's acting like some fake guy. So my boyfriend unalived in police custody. I'm really from that life. I've really got the stripes. Like it sickens me, makes me feel like throwing up. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, she's ruined another girl's life, and then after that, she's still got the audacity after what she did to her by telling everybody that that happened to her in college to be using her pictures. It's crazy. So let's look at the in-group versus out-of-group identity. High control groups create us, true believers, versus them critical outsiders. And this frames critics as spiritually hostile, and he reinforces the group's identity and loyalty. This also triggers groupthink, where dissent is punished, loyalty is rewarded, and critical thinking is minimized. Followers are socialized into aligning with the leader's interpretation rather than independent evaluation. And some of them are just DUMB, pick me 304s. One of these gathered, one of the lighties, some guy posted underneath basically suggesting that she was a 304. And I just said, look at it, look at that. But you can see the visible vulnerability. You can see it. And I just think to myself, how many girls are getting taken advantage of in this SPAC cult? How many girls are getting their backs blown out? because they're all pick-me's. They're not going to say no in there, and they're easy to manipulate. How easy is it going to be to get these girls to get their fling their jaws? It's not going to be hard. Do you know what I mean? You can see what's going on in there, you lot, man. And that's why they want to be left alone. But my advice to you, Toby, at SPAC & Co. Toby, let me give you some advice. Let me give you some advice, my fellow Yoruba brother, okay? I got to give you, listen to me here. I got to tell you the best thing to do now in this position is to just damage control from the inside. Don't be inviting people and trying to be a big celeb online, okay? Because you're going to bring attention that is not wanted, okay? And then people are going to see you and they're going to know that you are around. Just be quiet, just be silent in the background, anywhere and everywhere, apart from the internet. Because then you are drawing attention. And at the moment, you need to damage control the people that you have inside, because even the people that are inside are not inside. And the people that you think are with you are not with you at all. At all. They are not with you at all. So what is happening is you are paranoid. You don't know the people that are in you, because when we look at the fifth column, you are getting people fighting from within, from inside. Your bosses are putting their hands on the women, and people are just picking up and leaving. Oh. And not only that, but they are leaking information and things that are going on that is not supposed to come out from inside to outside. And that is what is happening right now today. And that is what needs to be that needs to be the focus of what we are trying to establish within the establishment. Okay? Because it is not a free society, and we are not doing where people are voting people in. This is not a democracy. This is where you come in. This is the Lord's house. And so the Lord is making the decision through myself. And I come in and I dictate and I tell you what to do. I say to Jam, you say, and that is what we are doing here. Eish! Somebody praise the Lord. Somebody praise the Lord. Sister Yandy. It be me, my body. It be me. Nina, son, it be me. Tell her mama, Zabame, and the Tola. No confidence, girl. You can't get, man. That's another thing that I've been hearing, that these gal them get about, and they've been, because they're pick-me's. These are the type of gal them, you know, these type of gal them, you can't bring them around rich man them, the Jemimas and co. You bring them around a rich man, then by next week they'll be getting their back blown out by that guy securing the peas. To my butt, yeah. Like, where you are? Oven. And this is the thing, you see these gal them, yeah? The gal them who are in these type of cults, they put on, it's called, there's a word for it, because I saw what Jemima has done is trauma appropriation. Am I lagging for anyone else? What Jemima has done is trauma appropriation, and I'm going to do content on it and a whole live on it, so I'm trying to keep it as an exclusive. But not only would I argue that it's trauma appropriation, it's also cultural appropriation, because this girl ain't from no streets. Why are you lying and saying that you've been out here in these streets doing up this, that, and the third? So now you've become such a JOKE that as a BLK girl, we've got to say that you're doing up cultural appropriation, because you're trying to do a hood chick in cosplay, in SPAC. It's just, and this is why I said to you guys, like, they overcompensate for all of these designers and all this stuff that they're doing, because it's just such a MESS in there. They've got to overdo it. They've got to overcompensate, because they're not in designer from head to toe. They're not going to get into the Dorchester. I'm absolutely telling you now. If even I could go in the Dorchester like this, I just put on my bright silver trainers, and I just say, oh my God, I've accidentally locked myself outside the door. Do you think I could use the telephone? They would totally believe that I've just got locked myself out. It's about, when it comes to like social class, there's a class system. There's the rich, like that top 5%, that they're definitely not in. Are looking upon them, they're always going to see them as the lave. It doesn't matter how much designers they've got, or where they're going, anything. It's about the tongue, like how you speak, the eloquence, the tone of your SKIN. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. It's the truth. When they institutionalize ACE's country, that's why as much as I say I'm a black girl and I'm an African girl, I have to acknowledge, block that girl. I have to acknowledge that I'm still, as much as I don't want to see that I'm a fair-skinned girl, I have to acknowledge that it is what it is. And there's going to be certain privileges that I get within the BLK community and within the UK. And then I can just do Karen and just put on the accent and da-da-da-da. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I sat here and I didn't acknowledge that, I'd be a FOOL and I wouldn't be woke. So I consider everything, absolutely everything, when it comes to looking at this, because it's multi-dimensional, guys. There's a lot to unpack, man. It's not as simple as these gal them just sitting in there looking DUMB. It's so much deeper than that. There's so many layers, like it's affecting so many people's lives. So many people are getting affected by it. So by framing critics as spiritually hostile, he reinforces the group's identity and loyalty. This also triggers groupthink, where dissent is punished, loyalty rewarded, and critical thinking minimized. Hey, where am I from? Guess. Followers are socialized into aligning with the leader's interpretation rather than independent evaluation. Cognitive dissonance and rationalization. Babe, I'm not a SPAC 304. So I don't want to talk to you. I'm not desperate for Mandem's D. If I want a man right now, I'll go and call my exes that are rich, that, and famous with money. Yeah? Okay? Your favorite rappers, uncles, older, father. Is some of your favorite rappers daddy? You know them ones? I was asked to talk at some hood thing where it's like people's sons have been unalived by the police, but I couldn't go because I used to be in a situation with the guy's daddy, who was his son was unalived, so I couldn't go there because it's too techie. Don't pee me off, man. I ain't got time for this, man. You know where the real OGs are? The real OGs, the real unalivers from South London. Are you all right? Not these little boy them and man them in cosplay. Like I've really been about that life in real life. Yeah. You know the places I've been. Like there's places I was, like funerals, like certain places I went and I was at. Where just going, I've risked my life. Oh, he probably ain't he's gonna charge me for this now because I just broke it. Yeah. I'm so hot in the yard. All right, let me get through this, guys, because I'm gonna leave in a bit and then I'll be back on tomorrow. Cognitive dissonance and rationalization. When confronted with accusations or uncomfortable truths, leaders and followers experience cognitive dissonance, which is emotional distress caused by holding two conflicting beliefs. So the cognitive dissonance is when they're holding two conflicting beliefs. So example, I lead a good church. If you carry on, I'm going to block you because there's survivors that need this. It's a lifeline for them. So that's the only warning you're going to get. I don't warn a ninja twice. Yeah. People call this a cult. To reduce dissonance, leaders use rationalization. They just don't understand spiritual reality. They attack what they can't control. This is damage control, not reflection. I'm exposing SPAC Nation, the cult. I spent 18 years in a mega church cult. Now I expose church cults. I'm talking about cult tactics. I deprogram and deconstruct people on lives. You've never seen this before, have you? And I'm pretty doing it as well. I'm pretty because I'm taking up my hair and I'm disabled. I'm just in bed, but I'm just a vision. I'm just a sight to behold. Projection and narcissistic defense patterns. You know you love it. Men love this energy. Don't lie. That's why you're still here. The intrigue, the mystery there. You love it. You love this. Projection and narcissistic defensive patterns. Psychology terms that map well here. So projection. When someone attributes their own unacceptable thoughts and behaviors to others. If a leader is defensive about being called a cult, projecting. So we're going to see projection in the form of they're the ones who don't understand. And this serves to avoid responsibility and accountability. Thanks for the follows. Narcissistic injury and rage. When a leader's image is threatened, they may respond with minimization, deflection, reframing, spiritual language, and I want to put damage control in there. Yeah, and enmeshment. So he's going to be. So what I also noticed with this is that because the church cult is sinking, it's like the Titanic. A lot of people are leaving. they're trying to hold these more elitist meetings in more prime locations. So they're creating like this elitist, like more chosen, you know, to get into the inner circle. And it's just human fecal matter. It's just human fecal matter. Gaslighting and reality distortion. When Toby says they called Jesus a cult leader, he is reframing reality. Thanks for the follow. Diminishing legitimate critique, normalizing the accusation as spirituality inevitable. This is gaslighting. You aren't seeing clearly, you're spiritually opposed. The effect on followers: confusion, self-doubt, loyalty, reinforcement. And this is the thing. This is why it's triggering SPAC survivors as well, because they're like, Leah, they're all over the internet. And I'm like, I'm going to do what I can, but I can't be like them, unaliving myself, guys. That's why so many people are leaving, because they're getting burnt out. They're tired. Do you know what I mean? I'm here for I'm here for the marathon. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on my Nipsey hustle-ish. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm really running this marathon, so I got to make sure I rest. Do you get it? But I'm still, you lot know I'm still going to be out here. And guys, don't feel like I'm not doing the other cults. I am, but I haven't really done much on SPAC. And another one is UCKG, because I've been so disassociated because of how triggering it is. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time unpacking this, because I do feel like God has shone a light on them for a reason. And I do feel like, and not because Bouncer's exposing it, it's not that at all, because I've had the survivors really coming forward now. And I do have to honor that I have put out a call, and a lot of SPAC survivors are coming forward. This is the most I've had ever, as I've done a call. So and continue to come forward. I love you guys. You know I love you to the death of me. You know, I'm from the struggle. I call myself the root rose that grew out of the barbed wire concrete jungle chair. Thanks for the follow. I feel it. I feel you lot, man. And all of the like backgrounds that you're coming from, all of the trauma and that, man, it just breaks my heart, chair. I'm with you lot, man. I'm sitting on business. I'm not even standing up. I haven't even started with SPAC. Yeah, if SPAC think I haven't even started yet. That's why I was so surprised that those videos went viral, because it was just me. I've been looking at Jemima a lot, and that's the thing with me. I don't just move. I'm like a silent sniper. I watch, I investigate, I psychoanalyze, and one of the best skills and spiritual practices that you could ever pick up, guys, is reflection, critical reflection. It's the opposite of, you know, like cognitive dissonance and brainwashing. So the critical reflection, like being a reflective practitioner. I think there's even a book called Reflective Practitioner, but just I think it's Scholl. There's a theorist that talks about reflection, and there's the Gibbs reflective cycle model as well. Really look into the models, and I will involve this in the chapter in my book. Actually, I think it's important. Look at the reflective models. How you reflect. How do you do it? How do you be still? Because once you can reflect, you can be still and sit in the stillness and presence of God. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Because if it's not in the stillness of God, it will need to be the stillness of your backside, in your own yard, sitting with self, because you like yourself. You know them ones. I'm by BLK, man, recovering from all their trauma. It's a lot. Oh, I just want to say I love my LGBT community. I love my LGBTQ plus community, and I just love you guys. I was in a girl band in 2007, and it really was the LGBTQ community that was paying them bills, and they loved us. So I love y'all. Me and a lot of my friends in the creative industry almost got groomed by them SPAC. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, bro. Hey, King. Yeah, that's what they do. They try to prey on like young, gifted BLK men. That's what they do. That's what they do in SPAC. And they're trying to frame it as like this empowerment, like this empowering community for BLK young people to start businesses and invest and put back in the community. But they're breaking down the community and destroying it. There's so many BLK people with poor, bad credit histories now. It's going to take them a whole lifetime to get out of that mess. And I just want to say I'm really sorry, because, you know, I feel like the most ostracized groups in the these settings are like by people who identify as bi. And guys, if I get the language wrong, forgive me, yeah, because, you know, I was in that cult for 18 years and we were taught to HATER. Thanks for the follow, babe. Pastor Terry himself wanted to GROOM me. Woo! God, it's pretty girl on there. Pretty girl. It's pretty girl on here. Oh my, do you know what? Can someone screenshot? Let me screenshot it. Tanny, Ross Clark. It's been a while. Do you know what? I don't even need to screenshot it, because I know you, bro. You're the one who did the SPAC as a cult, Karis as a cult, First Love as a cult, UCKG as a cult, innit, babe? You were the one who did it, right? I've screenshot it myself, guys. I don't need it anymore. Don't worry about it. So let's look at high control group dynamics. Yeah, all right. I'll message you. God, I'm just so shocked. I can't believe it. Like every other day. And I just want to say to the guy who disclosed about being bi and deconstructing, I just want to say you're so brave. You're so strong for, you know, and thank you for feeling that this is a safe space. But one thing I want to tell you, babe, is be you. Be in your true, authentic self and don't let anybody dictate or tell you who to be. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's the biggest step that you've made for yourself, walking in your own true authenticity. And that's why I love my LGBTQ community. That's what resonates. And that's how I came to like love them again. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I was never brought up with that HATE in my heart. My mom's my mom's stunning. My mom's so beautiful. So GAY men were always like really obsessed with my mom, loved her. Do you understand? You know that vibe? Because my mom's a diva. So I've always been around GAY men. Do you know what I mean? But they taught us to be the antithesis of that. And that's what helped me to like love that community again, because it's like, I'm being my true authentic self. Do you get what I'm saying? And I rate it, I respect it. And they receive HATE, they risk their lives walking in these streets to be themselves, to be their true authentic self. And I respect it, man. I put a lot of respect on your name. You would have thought after the work you and the Exposer did, they wouldn't have such a big following. Unfortunately, babe, whilst there's always people with trauma, with low self-esteem, there's always, these places are always going to be packed. Like, you know, RPF. And that's why I don't have the mind I'm trying to save everyone, because I'm not Captain Saver Hall. Do you know what I mean? I'm not Captain Saver 304. There's only one of me. I'll drain myself out. I'll start to look like the gal them in SPAC Nation. So I've got to like, because regardless of whatever you lot want to say, what you lot need to remember is I'm going to be 40 in 2027. And I'm sorry, but there are a lot of gal them in SPAC Nation that look older than me, that are younger than me, like Nikki and Jemima herself. Because when they put on all of that makeup, it's just giving, it makes them look older, and it also affects their skin. Like everyone always asks, everyone goes on about my skin. I could be outside. People just, what do you use on your skin? Whenever I go out, and it's like, I just haven't had like piles of makeup on, because I'm not going to lie. In my cult, we weren't allowed makeup. Makeup was forbidden. So it wasn't out of choice. I'm not going to lie, guys. That's probably the only good thing to come out of it, Chair, is the fact that I didn't wear the makeup. I'll keep it a buck. Because it was like, if you wear a makeup, you're a Jezebel. So what's happened in SPAC is it's the antithesis. So a lot of the gal them have really bad skin. Because I've heard in real life, like in the photos and stuff, they make it look a certain way, but in real life, it's just not it. That's what word on the street is. It's giving catfish. That's what the man them are saying in these streets, yeah. Because you know I'm not the usual type of girl. Like certain man will feel comfortable like hitting up your homegirl and just like having a conversation, because I'm not a female. I'm not a Pomeranian. Do you know what I'm saying? All right. So clergy-led high control spaces often use fear of leaving. Leaving equals spiritual failure. And then critics equals enemies of God. So there's a couple of layers to this. The first one is isolation, emotional dependency on the group, and social identity tied to the leader. So it becomes an echo chamber. And then when we look at Stephen Hassan's influence continuum, we can see that there's a cloning process through the negative leadership through Toby. Thanks for the follow. That's why all the gal them look at MESS. What are they trying to? Are they trying to look like Jada Wader? They trying. I think it's BLK. CEO bosses, but it just looks like a JOKE. And as soon as they open their mouth, they're in these clothes, and then as soon as they open their mouth, it's just giving visible vulnerability. You just sound like you're from the block in South London, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you got to own it. It's the people that own it and walk in their power and they're in their authenticity. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to act like you're from West London, where I'm from. Like you're trying to act like you were born and raised in Chelsea and you grew up in St. Mary's Hospital in Paddington. That's what you're trying to do. Like you've got the Chelsea tongue. You don't have it, darling. You just don't. All right, darling. The most that you'll sound is like you're just. To people who are educated, that are from like, you know, upper class, they can just they can't even pass for middle working class. Because middle working class is like them posh Catholic primary schools, them posh Catholic secondary. That's middle working class. And some would argue that doesn't even exist as a social construct. So they still see them as lower class because like Toby is just giving BLK poverty mindset because he's wearing every designer known to man. That's how he wants people to see that he's got money. So they'll let them come in to like the Dorchester and whatever because they know that they're going to spend money. So all of that for them is validation. That's why the whitey man that's got all the money can go in there and just like Converse. Like I can go to the Dorchester. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I can go to the Dorchester in like trainers. I'll wear my like baggy trousers. I'll just look like, you know, like some of them like the finance girls that are on their lunch break. That's the aesthetic I do. Trainers with a work suit. Do you know what I mean? It's just giving. See, that's how the people in West London dress. That's how all the because I grew around these people. That's how they do it. Like the people, the high earners, like on 6-7 figures. You'll see them in their business with their business cut and their trainers, and they're never designer. They're just either running shoes. I actually bought running shoes to fit that aesthetic when I was doing up my cult. They don't play with me, so they don't have a clue. They ain't got a blood clot clue. They're doing what they think looks like a business. It's just the MESS. It's just the MESS, and they don't have like the vocabulary. They're not articulate enough to carry it off. So it's just all within the self-sealing system. He's got like these hood gal from like in their 20s with visible vulnerability voices, dressed up in clothes, trying to do up. It's just the MESS chair. Truth is what the leader says, and again, because religion is money. If you've got the money, like if I had the money, I'd be a millionaire by now. I would have been a millionaire since I was doing this. And if money was my motivation, I could have been making a lot of money by now, a lot of money. But this song's so triggering, I can't listen to it. Money is not my motivation, but you see, when money is your religion, that's why when people are saying, oh, how can all these celebs be around Toby and these men? Because money is their religion. It's not Christianity, it's not Islam, it's money. So it's like they'll sell their soul. Do you get what I'm trying to say? To like get the peas. Like they don't care because it's like it's a religion. Because when everyone comes, they're all in the designers, they're all in the finest things that money can buy. Their religion. So that's why, like Digger, and I'm sad I have to even bring up Digger because we're from the same ends, but it was really disappointing to see him on there. I can't even lie. I was so hurt to see him on there, man. I really thought he was a real one. But some people told me he was just there to get his hair done and whatnot. Because he is a real one, I'm not going to lie. But what I'm saying is someone like Digger would be there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because again, they're going to be in the same circles. I said to you, like Hollywood is no different from these mega church cult pastors. They give their mistresses and their sightings the same lifestyle. That jet set lifestyle. They pay for their lives. And their wives just look at MESS and they don't invest in their wives at all. They're just wearing the wigs are just sitting so beautifully on their heads, like hats, just eloquently. And then the side gal that they've got there, they're buying them like wigs that are like almost £1,000. What's going on? And for those of you that didn't know, surprise, I'm a singer. That was what I did in there. I was a high-ranking minister of song, and SPAC's praise and worship is such a MESS. SPAC seems very materialistic. Yeah, that's what they do to lure in the young people. And unfortunately, they're going to get the worst of the bunch. Because again, they're going to attract. At the moment, they're getting so exposed that people that go there, they know what they're getting themselves into now at this point. So anyone who's in there and not naive and DUMB and not an absolute, vulture, it's just going to be like a lamb to the slaughter. Do you know what I mean? Because they're a lamb amongst a pack of wolves in there. And that's why I think we're doing so much to create awareness, because so many people's lives have been destroyed. I mean, you had Sam putting hands on a young female, fractured skull, 2 black eyes, hospitalized for a week, almost unalive there. And then Terry got involved, and Terry's an alleged PDF. Women as young as 14, 15 have come forward, and UK Thanos exposed him. So it's a bit of a human fecal matter show at the moment, babe. It feels like we're watching episodes of Greenleaf, and that's why I've got to be so careful to not turn it into the spectacle that Toby wants it to be. And I just want to say, for everyone that's been putting out content and helping to drive the rhetoric, and having Bouncer on board has been great as well, because it's a higher profile and we're able to just, push that drive. And one thing I really respect about him is the way he hasn't turned it into a spectacle or sensationalized it. And I think it's important. We have to be mindful, and we also carry a responsibility when putting out content. You know, our main concern is the vulnerable young people in the ends, because if they're going in there now, you know, they're going in there fully knowing Wagwan. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much content, but at least they're going in with their eyes open, and that's all we can do, guys, because we're not God. We can't save anybody. Yeah. Doctrine over evidence. Truth is what the leader says now. What can be what? Truth is what the leader says. Oh yeah, the truth is what the leader says, not what can be independently verified. And that's why they have them fault blockers, because it's like, you know, they filmed Nikki saying that PT, who's God, who's PT to her? She said God. LOL. That's why that girl's at MESS, man. Because if you're looking at a man like he's your God, like, you're just done out. Like, that's like no cap. Like, that is, you are tapped. Like, imagine thinking that Toby's, yeah, well off. It's sad, man. But I don't feel sad for her though, because she's ABUSE'd a lot of survivors. And when I'm on my other account, I've got a nickname for her that I'll be calling her. I don't care. I'm taking it so low. She better get ready for me, Jaya. She better get ready for me. Emotion over logic. Dramatic spiritual language beats factual accountability. Yes, idolatry. These are the same mechanisms identified in cultic studies. Yeah, and then the other lady was like the other lady was like the greatest ever. Which one's that, babe? So why does Toby behave that way in press conferences? In that strange press. Okay, we're going to get into the press conference. Let me do a little intro. So people said that they found it really strange that you lot can't see the screenshot behind you, but they basically, Toby's sitting in some sort of, I don't even know what it is, somewhere in West London chair. The rich Nigerian men love Central though. I remember when I was seeing my rich Niger guy, he just wanted to be flexing me in Central and West and whatnot. And I was just like, babes, like, I've been going to these clubs since I was 15 years old. Like, show me something different, innit? This is boring. This is boring. This is my local area. That's why when I was doing my thing, when I was going on them data sites and chatting to all of them rich whitey man, oh my God, it was just, guys, I was overwhelmed. I had to come off the dating sites and that. Just they just wanted your girl too much. Like, you know, once I did a video like, oh hello, I'm Leah Lauder and I'm just I'm single, ready to mingle. I love traveling. My stepdad was a rock star, so I love the jet setting life. I'm just a happy-go-lucky chick looking for a companion to just jet set the world. Don't play with me, darling. I'm not your average Joe. All the accent, no, not the accent, the accent. Darling, I grew up in the hood of Chelsea, a place called Ladbroke Grove. So, you know, like, my first job was like Oxford Street. It was like Duke of York Square. It was Sloane Square. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Sloane Street. Do you understand what I'm saying? I worked in boutiques. Then I worked for Kensington and Chelsea, the local authority. You know what I mean? Like, they all talk in a certain way. I had to fit in, yeah. And I was recruited in the cult by 19. So I started using the hood for my advantage because I'm a smart girl. So working for the local authority with the kids in the hood, but I was surrounding myself and rubbing shoulders with a lot of professionals because I was promoted. I was like the youngest to do a lot of things in my company. So yeah, so chair, I'm hot, man. It's getting hot in here, so hot. I'm just too hot. I'm too hot for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, man. And guys, forgive me for not coming on, like, you know, YouTube and Insta for a while, but guys, I've been so unwell. All right. So now we're going to get into the defensive positioning. He responds to cult accusations. No. We're talking about the press conference. All right. So they got the members to sit around Toby on a big table and surrounding him like they were journalists, like they were the paparazzi. So they've all got their phones out and they're like filming him. And there's guys, they're concentrating. They're like this. And I remember being in that position, like, you're so thirsty for the cult leader. Like, Jemima was doing all the head movements and like concentrating to up. Like, I've been there, you little 304. Do you know what I mean? I've worn the t-shirt, you little girl. Do you know what I mean? I've been there. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you're over exaggerating to show that you're really on it, like you're really loyal. I pick up everything. I don't miss a blood clot beat. Yeah. I gave that place almost 2 decades of my life. They rinsed me out. I'm exposing all of them. All of it's coming down. All of it. All of it. All of it. So in that strange press conference style moment where followers record him, there's different dynamics. Thanks for the follow, babe. The first one is intimidation through numbers. They were here gagging on his twisted analogies. Yeah. His ideologies are mad. I can't even understand the bloke. They were in space for almost that you were in SPAC. No. No offense to the SPAC survivors. Sorry, guys. No offense to y'all, but no. Sorry. I finesse brothers like Toby. There's no way they could have had me as a member in there. But man like Toby were paying my bills. When I came out of the cult and man like Toby, I paid. That's a books. I wouldn't be. He couldn't do that to me, because man like Toby, they pay my bills. I don't. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the uncles love me. They're just that he's good for paying bills and taking me. You know, get in the car to come and pick me up. You know that like these type of man, them they'll ask you what do you want, the Rolls or the Lamborghini, and I'll be laughing on the phone. Oh, just send any car. I don't mind. Just send anything. You know, doing the fake humility. He's like, no, come on, babe. Like, which one do you want? Oh, okay, the Rolls. Do you know what I mean? That's all Toby's good for. But unfortunately, there's pick me 304s that have never experienced that lifestyle, not a day in their life. They've never drunk Azul from the bottle, the Dom Perignon. Do you know what I mean? They've never had that life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, gal them like Jemima and Co. Do you get what I'm saying? So they'll think it's amazing. It's like stars in their eyes. They're getting finessed by the finesser. You gotta know about these Yoruba man them. You gotta know. But you can't play the player. Do you know what I mean? I've dealt with my Yoruba guy, but I'm not gonna lie, we both got hurt. But it wasn't just, you know, usually the gal's just lost her mind and the man's just moving on with his life. No. I'm the best he's ever had. Because remember, I go for the uncles that are inconspicuous, you know, like the bellies, bored, like they don't get the gal them to what, because even though they got the money, the gal them, you know, there's certain gal them, they're interested in looks, they got to be a certain height. So the beautiful women, they don't get the beautiful women like me. There's like a small pool of beautiful women that are intelligent, because beautiful women a lot of the time, sometimes they don't have much up in it. So the most beautiful women that are intelligent, you'll see them with the most like tapped, like done out man known to the world. Oh, why did we get into all of that, chair? I had to disassociate because these girls are so vulnerable. They've never left like their postcode. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like they've just been on ends. So when Toby comes, you know, like showing them this lifestyle, it's like they're not used to it. They're not used to like being around the baller, and these gal them get exploited by the man them. Like Mariam, that's why she did jail. That's why she did time. That's why she's outside. That's why she has to work for her money. She's not a kept woman. She's not pretty enough to be a kept woman. That's the truth. So like me, like I'm like mobster's boss wife. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm beautiful. So I didn't have to be outside there, like doing the movements, like, you know what I'm saying, like doing time and whatever. Like I was like the ride or unalive for my man. So it's like a thing where like he's gonna do the jail time for me. He's gonna unalive for me. He's gonna, you know, catch bodies for me because I'm that girl. I'm her, she. But Mariam are gal them that you send out, that you use, abuse, and exploit. Okay, and she's also been a victim in her life, I'm sure, by the man them. And you know, she comes in and she projects, and there's I can imagine there's a lot of self-hate and a lot of projection on beautiful women because she's not beautiful, not even in the slightest. So yeah, and then another thing is, guys, you've got to remember, like, again, when it comes to beauty, like a girl can be pretty, but beautiful is a different level, because beautiful women, you don't see a lot of beautiful women. Do you understand what I'm saying? A beautiful woman is just that. It's just a beautiful woman. Do you know, like everyone will stop and stare at it. There's not one gal them in SPAC that I've seen that has that effect. All right. I haven't seen one in there. But what I do see is it's the delusion. So the SPAC gal them are more delusional than the gal them waiting on the FYP to hear from the tarot card reader to tell them that their narcissistic, cheating ass boyfriend's gonna come back to feed their delusions. All right. I'm not beautiful. I'm a goddess. I'm not beautiful. I'm a goddess. I was sculpted by the heavens. Babe, I'm a goddess. I don't age. I'm gonna be 40. I'm gonna be 40 next year in 2027. I'm gonna be 40 years old. Looking like I'm in my late 20s. Like I'm just living in like the fountain of youth. Do you know what I mean? There's like so much gal them in there that are younger than me. How old's Mariam? Mariam could pass as my grandma or auntie. And I'm 39. I'm gonna be 39 in January, and I'm gonna be 40 next year. That's what I'm saying to you. Like the gal them in there, they're washed up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because of all of, and it's a bad mind heart as well. It shows on the outward. It reflects. It shows the trauma is in their face. All right. So in that strange press conference style moment where followers record him, there's intimidation through numbers, seeing followers with lights, phones, recording, reinforces and his command and his presence. It's also a supply for Toby, because no one wants the human fecal matter on him now. That no one's going to come out. Look at everything that's out. You don't want no journalists and paparazzi and press around him. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's getting the members to do it. I don't know. Maybe no one wants to be around him because usually they hire people. Maybe they couldn't get anyone at such short notice. But it looked really desperate, guys, using your own members to do a conference paparazzi. It just doesn't make any sense. We're really concerned. Defensive positioning. He responds to the cult accusations with Jesus was called worse. This is a 2QK fallacy. I think I've said it right. I'm not sure. Deflecting criticism by saying others were also wrongly accused in history and using the Messiah, the Son of God, as a way to gaslight people. Narrative control. By framing critics as spiritually hostile, he protects the group's internal narrative and avoids accountability. You see what I'm saying? This Lacan guy, this idiot, SPAC sent him, little idiot. But you see, that's what I'm saying. All the man them in there, they deal with gal them that are just about the D. That's why I said that. SPAC gal them are 304 pick me. So they've never dealt with a woman like me. You lot know I'm celibate for the rest of my life. My boyfriend's on the other side, Jason. Justice for Jason McPherson. He was unalived by the police. I'll never be with a man again in my life. So I'm not interested. And I got a young YN that's rich on my WhatsApp right now that is begging for my attention. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Men love me. They adore me. They worship me. That's as far as it goes. When I need a bit of attention, I'll entertain that ninja for a bit, just for him to entertain me and tell me how beautiful I am and hear a deep voice sometimes if I choose. All right. But unlike Jesus didn't run organizations and respond to media scrutiny. So the analogy is logically flawed. Jesus Christ didn't have the organization, and he also didn't have women and he also didn't have pastors who were putting hands on women. And he also didn't allegedly have 5 wives that are also church cult members. And he allegedly doesn't have 2 wives, one being who the whole church cult thought Mary was his normal church member. Then as soon as he's getting deported, Mary's his wife on paperwork. And this is the thing, because it's a lot of second gen vulnerable naive parents they're like second gen African members. If they say to them behind the scenes, look, you know how this country is and they don't want Toby to be here because he's a BLK, you know what, man, this is why we've had to do this, you know how it works back home. And so do you see how Toby will be ripping apart their parents, saying that their parents were broke? They'll all be saying, oh, my parents didn't do anything for me. It was the word of God, meaning SPAC, meaning Toby. But here Toby is using the same abusive culture, the toxic culture, to get you to fall in line and believe his lies. So he's just as ABUSE as your parents. He gaslights you like your parents. He abuses you like your parents. He controls you like your parents. And this is why they hate HATE to see me coming, because I just break it down so eloquently. Just like, like silk. It's just so smooth. And it's just the truth. And unfortunately, for lack of knowledge, our people perish. And in cults, what they do is, it's like the cult leader gets all the knowledge and he stores it for himself. He treats everyone like kids and babies. They're put on hold. Time stops for them. They stop taking in information. Instead, they do information control. So a lot of them in there have the mindsets of like little boys. That's why Terry's out there robbing people for Rolexes. I haven't heard of someone doing that since 2007. You've got to be really BROKE and really desperate. Allegedly, that's why he's on bail. Thanks for the follow, Zan. So that's the level of desperation, because you've got to be desperate to just ROB someone. It also shows the disconnect, because he's been in the self-sealing system for so long. It's like technology's advanced. The last thing you should be doing is ROBBing someone in broad daylight. And a lot of the pastors in there, I just think that they're not mentally balanced, because Sam is getting angry and putting hands on a woman. Then Terry's joining in. Then Terry's going into what is giving psychosis. Like, it looks like, because you know, a lot of the time when these guys are losing their mind, they'll be trying to like hide it and cover it and deal with it internally. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then they're desperate for members as well. Do you understand? So it's like they'll keep the preds and they'll keep the PDFs. And this is why, like, and SPAC, you've blocked me from your TikTok. I'm gonna block clock here. I've got a burner account. I've already been looking. Yeah, I don't care. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can beat Alchemy on them. Here. It's just the MESS. Everyone is, and all of them are getting exposed. There's one Nia. This is that the light skin one, the Nia one, with the forehead. And then do I know, babe? No, I was not. Listen, SPAC doesn't recruit educated people. The only way educated gal them come through there is if they're recruited through a man, because they like a man. Because the most educated like girl bosses, their weakness is D, their weakness is man. So for all my girl bosses, you need to decenter from men and center your blood clot self, because our downfall is D. And when I clocked it, I said, that's it. That's it. I change when the D comes, because I am literally, when it comes to schmegs, oh my God, you lot can see I've got so much passion and anger, and I get that out in schmegs. And I'm used to dealing with GMs, like having that real hood-ish, do you know what I mean? Like real, ooh, yeah. So once a man, like, that's it, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gone. I can't even think straight. It's all out the window. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And then I have to be doing up all of this stuff, like acting like I'm not D-whipped when I know I am. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I just start getting like, just like I need it. Like, come here. Do you know what I mean? It just gets too much. Yeah. It just becomes so toxic, so addictive. You know what I mean? And then the man them just can't get enough. They just can't get enough, because it's like exactly what Cardi said. It's like, I'm like their homie. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're having so much fun, like laughing, busting joke. I'm so funny. I'm so blood clot funny. Then it's like the music. You could put on any type of music. My music selection is mwah. I can cook, but I'm not going to cook. Just order the takeaway and then put the cream on me. Wow! Oh my God. You lot, you know, like, and you know, these vanilla uncles, like my ex was a vanilla uncle. He hadn't done nothing, chair. I had to show him a little treat on the M25. He didn't have it, like a hood, like a hood bee. He never had it so good, baby. That's why I said, yeah, getting over me, because he's never going to get a baddie like me. Is he ever going to get that on the M25? How many gal are doing that? What are you talking about? So he was just, it was just spontaneous. You know me, I'm spontaneous. I'm adventurous. I'm fun. I like to try so many different things. Like, I'm like this in every area of my life. So when I realized that there's just too much power and too much control on me, so I just cut it out. I don't want a man to be able to have power over me. I don't want a man to be able to have that type of power. So I cut it off. And since then, it's been great. I've been celibate for years. I've lost count. I know. And that also makes them want me more. And that's what I like. I just like a man. I want a man to want me, but then I don't want him. Does that make sense? So I like to be lusted and desired and worshipped, but then I want it to be that, like, from afar, like, buy me things, treat me, because I'm beautiful, because I'm a queen, because I'm a gem, because I'm special. I'm a princess. I'm a Mona Lisa. So it's like, you can watch, you can walk, you can worship, but you can't touch. You can look, but you can't touch. And that's my vibe. It was only the real like hood famous, like hood famous and rich man them that can say they've put their paws on me. And I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed about anyone that I've dealt with, because one thing you can't say is that they're broke. And that's the most important thing to me. I weren't no pick me 304 giving out free coochie like the SPAC gal them and getting put in jail because I had to do fraud to feed my child and put food in the fridge. Do you know what I mean? I could call, there's about 10 different man them that I could call right now and ask for a rack, and they'd all give it to me. But do you know what? I just call the uncle that I left. You know, the one that got away and just asking for the whole 10 racks. You know them ones. There's so much mandem. If I called them right now, they'd just be here in like half an hour, 30 minutes. It doesn't matter where they are. Anywhere in London, they're going to make sure they get here in 35 to 45 minutes. Yeah. So it's just that vibe. You know, I'm just that. I'm her, I'm she. I'm not here. So the gal them, they don't have this air. They don't have this, all fake. It's all superficial. It's all lies. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So they just come in trying to have that energy, but it's all lies. They don't have that energy really. Like a gal like these gal them, none of them could stand in my presence. The energy is too much because they're all fake. It's like a cloak that they've put on. All right. So the narrative control, by framing critics as spiritually hostile, he protects the group's internal narrative and avoids accountability. The follower's psychology. So many followers want certainty in a chaotic world. They see meaning through charismatic interpretation, fear uncertainty, and they fear uncertainty more than truth. And so that's where it's like the uncertainty of leaving, like what's on the other side, like is my life going to just fall apart, this, that, and the third. And there are people in many of the cults that I talk about, and they're trying to leave. That's why they like these cults, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because they don't really know who's for them, who's really for them, and who's really against them in these streets. So they're very paranoid at the moment. Even the people them that are coming, that they don't even know if they're actual members or just come in to just troll them and just use content. Could you imagine how paro they must be in there? Thanks, JK. Could you imagine how paro they must be in there? But Toby just loves it because he's, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, them like that, they're not, guys, they're not okay. Do you know what? I would actually go with, I think it's given psychopath, not narcissist. I think it's given psychopath. All right. So just in summary, why he does this. Leader behavior like Toby, it stems from charismatic authority and fragile self-image, cognitive dissonance and avoidance, projection and defensive narcissistic logic, gaslighting, reframing is given that. Yeah, it is not. Cult-like group dynamics, sociological in-group versus out-group reinforcement, so the us versus them. And in short, Toby can't handle critique because he's like a little boy, a little traumatized boy. You know, you got to remember him with that suitcase picture. That's Toby. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That's him. He reframes critique as spiritual attack to protect himself, bind followers, discredit critics, and maintain control. What I'm going to give you quickly before I go. Because you know what it is? A man can't resist a baddie. And a lot of women try to like emulate it. A lot of women, like, they try to teach it. How do you be a main character? How do you be? I can't tell you, bitch. I don't know. I was born this way. I don't know. I just know I am. I just know she is. And one thing I've noticed is, especially these ballers, they love a little baddie. Don't ever get it twisted. So with me, you got to remember, I'm not your average. I'm not just pretty. I'm not just got nice hair. I'm not just intelligent. I'm not just can I sing. I'm not just talented. I'm also a baddie. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, so the schmegs is on a different level. The way I talk to the man them is on a different level. The way I ignore them is on a different level. Like, it's just giving mystery. It's just like every day is an adventure. Nothing's the same. I got to teach you something different all the time. It's like you feel like life becomes magical when you're with me. And that's why people can get very addicted to my energy. So with men, they can become really obsessed. Like I've had to, my last ex, after my ex-husband, I said to him, like, it was that close from me reporting him to the police because he just wouldn't leave me alone. He just wouldn't stop sending the pictures, wouldn't stop sending the messages. Like, it was just too much. So, you know, that's the kind of source that I got. These gal them don't have a clue. They think that they're that and they're not. They're just washed up 304s, and I can see straight through them. All right, let me leave you with this, and then tomorrow I'm gonna come back and we gotta chop it up. We gotta chop it up even more. I just got heavy hands, man. I'm always doing something. All right. So why do these cult leaders compare themselves to Jesus? Why do they compare themselves to Jesus being called a cult leader? And this is what Toby did, and this is what they all do. They use a lot of quotes. We're going to get into it. This is one of the oldest cult deflection tactics. Hey, girl. When leaders say Jesus was called a devil, a cult leader, persecuted, so they'll say the same about us. They are doing false equivalence. It's called false equivalence. So they're doing up false equivalence. What they're doing psychologically, they are borrowing the moral authority of Jesus Christ to protect themselves from scrutiny. Using the name of Jesus to cover and protect them from being held accountable for their EVIR. It's giving Pharisee, isn't it? Because remember, there's no EVIL more than a Pharisee because of what they did to Christ. Do you get what I'm saying? Because remember, Christ was innocent. And you got to also look at the nature and the level, do you get what I'm saying, of the way that they unalived him. It's just unimaginable. So Jesus becomes a human shield. He becomes a shield that they hide behind. So the message to members becomes, if you question me, you're questioning Jesus. If outsiders criticize us, they are enemies of God. This shuts down critical thinking. The scriptures they misuse. This is important, guys. Guys, you can screenshot this if you want, because this is important, especially if you're deconstructing and deprogramming from the manipulation and untwisting of scripture. So if you're on the FYP, or if you're on here and you've recently left the cult, come in, like, screen record this bit. So the first one is Philippians 1:21, and that's, for me to live is Christ, and to unalive is and to die is gain. So this is used to glorify sacrifice, normalize suffering, frame loss as holy. In cults, this becomes give everything, lose everything. It's spiritual, it's sacrifice. They even go as far as to say, like, you know, like certain people are anointed to give. It's just human fecal matter. Let's go. Tell them check, please. Tell them check, please. All right. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness. Matthew 5:10-12. This is a big one. They reframe accountability as persecution, exposure as spiritual attack, and truth as the devil, Satan, the enemy. So survivors feel guilt for speaking out, guilt for even not praying or not reading the Bible. I saw someone put that in the comment and I just thought, yeah. I remember being in that situation. It's hard, man. You feel like you're going to go to HDRL for not reading a book. It's sad. So survivors feel guilty for speaking out, fear they're attacking God, pressure to stay silent. The world hated me first. That's John 15:18. So they used to say, if people hate us, it proves we're right. This creates an immunity to evidence. No matter what happens, the leader wins, because the leader is always right. And do you see that he's using the shield to hide behind Christ? So it's like, if they HATE Christ, they're going to HATE me, because, and remember, they put themselves on the same level as Christ as well. That's the other thing. So a lot of the survivors internalize their cult leader as being a type of Christ. And I'm sure that he's going into these teachings of, like, the first man was Adam, and then there's different types of Adams going through the Bible. He's probably indoctrinated them to see him like almost like the coming Messiah, like the prophet, the next great prophet or something. Because I think Toby's doing a lot behind the scenes, allegedly. I think there's a lot of, like, I think he's more of a one-on-one prophet, and then allegedly he's sleeping with 5 girls that he's got living in the yard. It's just the MES. Do you know what? Yeah, I just really, this documentary, whenever it's made, is going to be moods. But if I'm not in it talking, then it's not 30. They're not going to have, because if I'm not in it talking about it, they're not going to have the survivors. Where are they going to get the survivors from? Because survivors don't trust people. I'm the only one they trust to tell me that it's really them outside in these streets. So if anyone does a documentary about SPAC, where are they going to get the survivors? Because you have to, well, actually, there is a few, unless it's a SPAC survivor doing it. The only one I really think has a right to do it, it has to be some sort of SPAC survivor involved, or someone who's had direct involvement and impact, like knows these survivors' opinions. Because I'm not gonna lie, like, survivors are like, oh, Leah, you're our voice and this and that, and I was like, you know what, I'm coming on my mad thing now. You get me, like, with a boldness, because it's like the survivors are seeing me like this, and I just want to say big up the SPAC survivors, man. Because me and a certain SPAC survivor, like, guys, like when I was exposing all the SPAC stuff and loads of stuff was going on, and I got a SPAC survivor mixed up with someone else, and when I tell you, look, guys, I switched on her. I just come like on some road tip, and I had to apologize, but I had to also take a step back and think I shouldn't be talking to any survivor like that. Do you know what I mean? Mariam's lot even got excited from their last place. What last place? I had to reflect. I shouldn't be talking to anyone like that, man. Do you know what I'm saying? And that girl could have even exposed that, regardless of whether I was talking to her or not, because it was so bad. But I love that about the collective, you know, like I expose myself. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, they hold that space for me, and I love that about the collective. Do you know what I mean? Like, you lot are real ones, man. That's why I don't need no man. Like, I've got the collective chair. I'm in a queue. Oh, they're like all the rest of the cults. They weren't paying their rent. But what I don't understand is they're trying to act like they got all of this money, but apparently all of the supercars, like the big ones, like they're on their loans, their leases. There's like a whole little ministry in there apparently, and then the only ones that they own are like the Rangers, because you know a Range is not hard to get. You know what I mean? Like, it's an accessible car. But when you go into like the Bentleys and the Rollses and the Lamborghinis and the Maseratis and all them type of cars there, Guys, I only know the cars that my exes have had because I don't know a damn thing because love don't cost the thing. You know, I'm just like Jenny from the block. I'm just J-Lo. I used to make these ninjas feel like I really like them. You know, I've got that authenticity. They just be given the cash. Yeah, they do a lot of money like in other accounts. What's this that Toby, this narrative, Toby saying that he's gonna be, is he saying that he's doing up New York for watch night? Because I was thinking, oh, he's trying to do America because you know the UK hate him now. I think he's trying to make that move to the US. Because I'm not gonna lie, the mega church cult in the US is just the MESS. You know, which one is it, Toby or Tommy? You know, the PDF pastor allegedly. Remember that girl Rebecca came out saying that he was doing it, like putting hands on her from 14 years old. So when they go to America, they got look at the bastards out there, the mega church. It's just the MESS. So I think Toby's trying to make that transition to the US, and then I think they might just have like a small group here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like SPAC, like in the UK, which will just be like their cult members and then the most vulnerable of the most vulnerable. Is he trying to make that transition into the US? Let's see. Why cults frame exposure as persecution? But he better get ready though, because them GMs there, they got still. So you better just get ready, Jay. This is called persecution narrative conditions. When cults frame exposure as persecution, guys, or exposure as like the DEVIL or whatever, it's called persecution narrative conditioning. I'm gonna say it again because I think we need to have this in our artillery. Hi Gigi. Oh, I didn't see. That's Georgia. PT is such an he is. And it's so funny because I believe that a lot of these guys are warlocks. And then all these young girls that they've got, they siphon their energy and it's like their little coven. So psychologically, it bonds members together, creates fear of outsiders, justifies abuse as spiritual warfare. Once followers believe we are under attack, they stop asking, is this true? Is this ethical? Is this safe? So why Toby brings up money, wealth, and cars, why, this is part of his selling point, it's part of their pride. I don't know, guys, it's just the MESS share. This is status deflection because in the press conference, he was saying basically, because they were saying that the community, the whole community is against you. Finally, they acknowledged it. And Toby said he doesn't care because everyone's broke, allegedly. I can't remember. I'm not quoting him verbatim. I'm not saying that's exactly what he's got because Toby's got too much time on his hands and he does too much 419. Toby, that's the only reason why people are watching their P's and Q's because you got too much time. It's just giving washed up unk. Do you know what I mean? From East London. Y'all have a lot of time on your hands. And when you get obsessed, you know how y'all are with the colorism and the obsession with the pretty lighty gal them. And that's another reason why I have one up on all of the gal them in there because they hate themselves. So just by virtue of me being this, what I am, they're just gel. And and internally in their subconscious and in their psyche, they believe that I am inferior and I'm better than them because of their cult leader, Toby, who wants to be a YT man so badly. And they exasperate that in the cult. And because of the self-fulfilling prophecies and the epigenetics that have been passed on through time, because their mother hate themselves. But they probably got mums in there who bleach and all that as well. Do you know what I mean? So they just don't love themselves. So that's how I know I got a one up on them because I've been in the community. I've been in the fold. I've been a Niger madam. I've taken the Niger D. I've been a proper madam. I've been a wife of a Benin Edo state man for almost 10 years, a decade. My kids are half Nigerian. They have Nigerian names. Are you all right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I know how it all works, man. I've got one up on them in so many different ways. It doesn't matter how much they flaunt, just by virtue of this. Because of how enslaved they are, because of the slave master mindset they've got and how enslaved they are, I got one up on them. And in their psyche, I'm always going to be better than them just because of this. Just because of this. And I don't even see it like that. I don't even think like that. And you want to come against someone like me who's this woke with this kind of knowledge. Okay, let's go. let's go, baby girl. But when you stand in front of me, you already think you're inferior to me just because of this, because that's what your mama's taught you. It's in your epigenetics, baby girl. And you're not going to tell me any different, because I'm trying to educate people like you and the aunties and uncles to set themselves free, to love themselves and their melanin. And that's why I identify as a BLK African queen, because every girl that looks like me is trying to be everything but black, everything but an African queen, trying to be mixed, this and that. And the truth is, guys, I do have South American and Caribbean ancestry, but I'm not going to be like them chicks who are just like delusional, that don't know that they're BLK, because I've been brought up as a BLK African woman. That's my mindset. So it hurts me, man, when these gal them are beautiful, this, that, and the third, but they're not seeing themselves like that because they're DARK, BLK skin. So everything that I do, guys, is with intention. I'm not doing anything. Listen, if I've got something to say, I'm going to say it. I'm not blood clot here, but my heart is pure. And sometimes I wish it wasn't so pure, because I would just like to say it as it is and not care. You know, like Courtney Clark, that girl's EVIR. I've seen she did a post that went viral, but I just decided I'm not going to ride on to give her any clout or momentum. Do you know what I mean? But you know, them EVIR gal them, they ain't got no heart. And these are the type of gal them that you find in these church cult spaces. And I'm so glad that it's getting exposed and you're seeing it all, like the Jemimas. And I've just been right time after time after time after time after time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they're just all washed up 304s. The gal them that hold that religious mindset and rhetoric, yeah, even if they're not going to church, they're EVIR. That's why there's certain survivors I don't F with them. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially if they're still in religions, because the gal them are confused, they're lost, they're washed up 304s. And because they're pick-me's, like deep down inside, they're jealous of me and they hate me deep down inside. But because they've been abused in the system, there's a cognitive dissonance. It's like they haven't deconstructed from the misogynic patriarchal. They just want to come in and take what they want. But really, the Christian gal them can't really F with me, because it's like there's so many different things there. Projection, because they can't be free like me. They don't have my confidence. They'll be jealous because I'm me. Do you understand what I'm saying? The sensuality, how I walk in my freedom, it's going to be a lot of HATE, because they don't LOVE themselves. And you can't be insecure to be around me. You've got to be very strong in who you are. And so when I see something, even if you're a survivor, if you're that low vibration, I don't care. Go and speak your truth somewhere else. Go to Rachel Rain, you know, surviving UCKG. She's all the survivors that are, you know, still in there, like mentally. You and Rachel, you lot all belong together with the fakery. Do you know what I mean? Go to her. Go and sit on there in your suit and tie and tell your testimony. You get me? Here we do real-ish. You got to have dealt with your shadows to come and sit on here and be dictating and giving advice and telling other survivors, what have you been through? How did you heal? How did you deprogram? How did you deconstruct? Like, tell us, baby, because we know, because we've really been through the bricks. So we know we've been through the friggin' forest. We know Wagwan. We know if you've been there. We know if you've been in the forest, in the jungle. We know if you've had to, you know, start a fire from scratch. We will know if you've had to hunt to fight for your life, to feed your kids. We will know, babes. We will know. We will feel the vibration of the struggle. Real, recognize, blood clot, real. That's why I speak in a certain way, so that it's the realist people that I want. That's why I chat the way I chat, because it's real, recognize, real, man. I don't want no fake man them coming in here, man. Don't want no actors. You get me? That's for the church cult. I want real people. That's why if I start to see them cultic tactics in you, and I start to sense control and emotional manipulation, and when I'm putting up boundaries and you're not respecting the boundaries, I just withdraw. Because I was in there for 18 years. There's nothing that nobody can't put past me. And I protect my energy, and that's on period, point blank. And I will not budge from boundaries. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because my body it's like pattern recognition. It's like I'm psychic because I was in there for 18 years, so I can sniff. So why Toby brings up money, wealth, and cars. So this is because to shift the focus to money, success, luxury, business opportunities. Why? Because wealth is used as proof of divine approval. Remember, it's like money becomes the currency. And then also money is the biggest religion in the world. And that's why you see them all together, like the elites and whatever, because they've got all that money. So that's why they're trying to get that. They want to be an elite. Don't you see? And religion there's an elite, and there's an elite group, and there's elites in there, and there's like secret societies and things like that, because at the core of it. And that's why you see people still doing business with Toby, still, because religion is the money. Money is the religion. Sorry, that's all it is. And that's why, you know, like the people that are going to be with this guy is going to be EVIL people who worship money, because that's Toby's God. It's money. We all know that. And he uses it as like divine approval. And it's like, oh, you're broke or you're begging for bread. Christ says never had the righteous man isn't begging for bread. We're not begging. I could imagine how he's flipping all of them scriptures. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just the MESS. So if I'm blessed, I can't be corrupt. But this is prosperity gospel logic, not Christianity. It also distracts from power abuse, financial exploitation, and survivor testimony. So why helping young people with business is dangerous? This is where religion and pyramid scheme logic meet, okay? Cults often recruit vulnerable youth, promise purpose and money, blur church, business, loyalty, and obedience. And actually, the survivors have said, when you come in with an idea, you'll have this person saying, oh, I can help you. Oh, I've got these networks. I've got this money to da-da-da. So they kind of do it like that. So it becomes unpaid labor, debt, emotional exploitation, I owe you, silence, free dependency. This is not empowerment, it's extraction. Another way that, you know, a pick-me is when she can't just come out, you know, like how I come out, just like with no makeup on, like just take off the hair, like just come out looking crazy, just because I can sit like this, because I know when I do myself up, I know I'm that, like I know I'm that, even as this. Do you get what I'm saying? So I could come with natural hair, I could come with nothing on, I could come here with my bonnet all day. Because give me 5 minutes, I don't need an hour, because I don't need makeup. I just got to put on a little eyelash, and slip on a cute little short skirt, the shortest dress known to man, because I'm 2000s fine. I'm 2000s, 90s fine. So I just need to put on a little, I'm tiny, just put on a little tiny dress. Are you all right? It's giving catwalk runway model. All right. So you can tell that they don't LOVE themselves. They're very artificial in there, the gal them. So I know they're insecure. Not a hair out plate like the Breenie Lees. It's like they have to be perfect. Do you understand? It's like this facade. This it's like what they want to be. Do you understand? Projection. Thanks for the follow. So this is it. So this is not empowerment, it's extraction. Why survivors are so triggered. So guys, this is why you're so triggered, because we were taught that suffering equals holiness, and shamed for questioning, and told abuse was God refining, or God chasteneth those whom he loves, and that excuses the ABUSE. And that's why Sam and Terry and co are putting hands on Gyaldem, because there's just, the lines are just too blurred. They feel like they're gods in there, and they just feel like they can do anything. Also to try and to jump on trends like TikTok and videos with the younger girls. Yeah, there's also the fueling of social media, and that is how SPAC Nation have managed to rebrand themselves, because Toby is a charismatic leader. He's a charismatic personality, and that's the first characteristic of a cult, that there has to be a charismatic leader that everybody idolizes and worships and follows and sees as a god. And that's what makes SPAC a cult, just like that's what makes Karis a cult, because they worship David Antry, call him God's servant. The same with Dag, they call him Daddy, Prophet. Do you know what I mean? It's the same pattern. So SPAC is no different from Karis to RPF to, they all worship the cult leader like that. Yeah, it's just a different culture. And that's why they won't come out and ever speak on SPAC. They'll always say, oh, but souls have been saved, because they're DUMB. They're DUMB. They're severely indoctrinated. That's why I don't trust any of them religious organizations, because when it all falls down, they're going to support everything, because money is their God. And if they don't know it, whoever the lead pastor is at the top, he knows it, because he knows tithing's a fake. Look at the internet. Tithing was for the Levite priest. Like, that pastor knows that, but yet he's still preaching tithing, and oh, you can give the tithe if you want. My church doesn't make it compulsory. Your pastor's a fraud and a thief, because he's still preaching the tithe. Why? Because that's his bread and butter. He can't have his Mercedes car. He can't have his nice holidays. He can't have his designer suits and shoes. That's what it is. And then their prodigies and the young pastors are so DUMB, being a lave underneath them, thinking they're serving the Lord and building the ministry, when they might as well just do their own ministry and pocket all that money, because they just get robbed by the older, the old school man them that have all these churches. That's all it is. So Jesus did I'm going to leave you guys with this, and we need to hold on to this. Jesus did not build a high control organization. Jesus did not demand loyalty to himself as a brand. Jesus did not use money, fear, or persecution narratives to silence victims. Criticism is not persecution. Accountability is not an attack. Exposure is not hatred. And I'm just going to quickly go through why this behavior is dangerous. How much of this is here, Jill? Oh, okay, we're nearly done. And then tomorrow, because this is a bit of a series, so tomorrow I'll continue it. Watch out for people that are smiling in your face but don't want to respect you, still want to be in your presence or around you. It's chastising vibes. And a huge one, guys, is when people don't respect your boundaries. So you might say to someone, "Oh, I just need space," or "Oh, do you know what? I'm going to give this connection a pause for a little bit." I'm not just talking about romantic connections. This could be a church cult dynamic. This could be a friend. This could be and they don't respect that dynamic and just come swooping back in, even when you give them the smallest of response and attention. That is also, and it's not to say that the person's manipulative or EVIR, but that is a sign of not respecting you. Because if a person respects you, they'll respect your boundaries, and that is something that you can really miss. Do you know what I'm saying? You can miss that, and it's very obvious. So thanks for that, Marve. Oh, Marve, hey bitch, how are you? I haven't been on YouTube for a while, babe. I've been so unwell. I've had the district nurse here, the doctors, because you know I live with this debilitating chronic illness and disease. Okay. All right, so why this behavior is dangerous, and I'm just going to say it quite plainly. This pattern shows manipulation, moral licensing, power protection, narrative control. It is not spiritual leadership. It is authoritarian control dressed in scripture. When a leader says we're being persecuted like Jesus, ask yourself, who is benefiting from that narrative? Who is being silenced? Who is being protected? Truth does not fear questions, only power does. And notice that, like, when they do these little press conferences and stuff, they try and act like they've asked like real questions from the internet and stuff, but they haven't. They've got a barrage of people hurling ABUSE at Toby. And the thing is, we've seen a little bit of humbling with this conference as well. Don't ever get it twisted. They're really like on their last legs now. Like, but Toby just loves the attention. He doesn't care whether it's good or bad. Do you know what I mean? But it's a sinking ship at the moment. They don't know who to trust. They don't know who their real people are. It's just, they've just got these DUMB, you know, the young gal, like Jemima and all that little kids in there, the really desperate ones that they've got that are going to be hanging on for dear life. So it's at MESS. If their best is Jemima in SPAC, then you're finished. You're done out. And on that note, I'm going to go. And I just want SPAC to know, Toby has been running around in these streets trying to say he's the pastor of the community. He's a BLK community leader. He's this and he's that. And that's why everyone's had to get involved, including Bouncer, and let him know that you ain't know nothing for none of the community. You ain't no pastor. You ain't know nothing for the hood. You ain't know nothing. We don't want you here. Yeah, and we've made it unequivocally clear, and the whole nation is against this ninja. So if you think that you're going to bring this little girl, Jemima, I've got so much tea on this little whore. I hope that she's told you everything, because I'm coming with major receipts, you little hoe. So I hope that you're ready for me. You better have told them everything about your stinking... Did it get locked off? Let's see, man. Oh my God, it locked off, but I locked it off. As I was locking it off, it locked off. So I'm so glad I didn't get locked off. It didn't get locked off. Okay. Because I was trying to press it quickly and I thought there's no way. All right, YouTube, I'm going to head off. I'm going to go because, I was just cussing at the end. I just had to. I'm so angry. I'm so angry with the things that have been done and the things that they have done. But I will be back on live tomorrow, guys. I'm going to go. Love you so much. And I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye, YouTube. Bye, Instagram. I love y'all.